You open this door with the key of reason. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of truth. A dimension of freedom. A dimension of joy. You're moving into the land of both the ideal and the real, of the possible and the actual. You've just crossed over into the Capitalist Corner.
Where reason meets reality, welcome to the Capitalist Corner.
Welcome to the Capitalist Corner, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Michael Liebowitz, and we do not have anybody with me today. So I'm all by my lonesome. Somebody just sent me or they commented on a post I made for, one of my videos, one of the short video clips. And he told me I've got to change it. And the clip was me like this. So I've just deleted that because I don't want that out there. That's not a good look for me or anybody else. Remember, like, share, subscribe to the show. Share it from YouTube to your social media platforms. Mark Pellegrino doesn't often do that. Don't be like Mark Pellegrino. Be like the people that do share it. I was thinking a few minutes ago that I am kind of, what's the word? I'm either the gift that keeps on giving, or maybe you consider me the problem that won't go away, kind of like herpes. I hope it's the former and not the latter. We've got a lot to discuss today, and I'm really looking forward to discussing it. I started my new show, Everyday Ethics. That's live at 2:30. I hope everybody checks it out. Thank everybody that already did. And the usual disclaimer, the views expressed on the show are not necessarily indicative of those of the American Capitalist Party. I'm trying to get to Facebook right now so I can delete that post from Facebook as well. So, give me maybe a minute or so here, and we'll see what happens. Or maybe I didn't even post it to Facebook. It doesn't appear I did. Thank heavens. Okay. So I was on the road today and I heard something. This doesn't have anything to do with capitalism or politics even, but I found it interesting, and I'm thinking maybe you'll find it interesting as well. Oh, also, please remember the super chats are open. They're open here, and they're also open for on the other show I do, the Everyday Ethics. So I'm listening to the radio this morning, and there's a report that in Connecticut this year, there have been 39 incidents where bears have entered residences. Now, in Massachusetts, which is a bigger state just to the north of us, there's only 4. And I'm just thinking, what the hell is happening in Connecticut that 39 bears have gone into houses? But that wasn't even the craziest thing that I heard about the whole story. They recommend that if you should find a bear in your home, do not attempt to interact with it. Instead, barricade yourself in a room and call 911. I'm just curious, is that really a problem? Are there people that if they come home and there's a bear inside their home, they're like, hey, let's chat here, Barry Bear. What the hell's going on? What idiot does that? Who the hell is trying to interact with bears? If not friend, why friend shaped? I don't know, Persephone. That seems like an odd thing. I don't consider bears to be friend-shaped. I consider them to be very dangerous. They're huge. They've got these giant teeth and fangs, and they're vicious. I mean, they're cute, but I'm not like, hey, come here. Do people really do that? Ian says, yeah, people go to national parks and walk up to wild animals. Are these people out of their goddamn minds? Well, luckily for me, I am not out of my mind, at least not when it comes to bears, because I'm not trying to pal around with this thing. I like them, but if I have a gun, I'm going to kill it. And if not, I'm calling somebody, please come and save me from this wild animal. So also while, let me share this here from here, because yesterday I did that and it seemed to really, drive up the views. Also, while I was on the road, I heard a Donald Trump, and Donald Trump says that he inherited the worst inflation in the history of the country, which of course is codswallop. He also said that affordability is like a made up word that from the Democrats, and when they say it, nobody even knows what the hell they're talking about. a meal for two at McDonald's costs like $28, right? So I think I understand what affordability is. I'm just saying. And I think most of you do too. Now, so aside from the Donald being wrong, it's just dumb politically to, deny what people are experiencing in their everyday lives, right? People experience that things are expensive. Now they've come down from the inflationary highs, yes, but they're still expensive, more expensive than we want. And I think Trump said that he would, transform things overnight, which, well, he didn't, and he won't. So, like when Biden broke the border, he broke it. Like, I don't know. That reminds me of Hillary Clinton, like the wiping the whatever the hell it was clean with a cloth. All right, let me get to these stories today. Maybe what the hell is this? Oh, okay. What do I got in the thing? Oh, the mainstream media. Okay, look at this. Robert Naser with the idea of the fucking century right here. Right? He said we should rename these the super fucking chats on this channel only. I don't care if YouTube does it or not. I'm doing it right now. Everybody, the super fucking chat is open. You can go and click it. Give me some fucking money through the super fucking chat. It'll put a big fucking smile on my dumb fucking face. How about that? Is that great? God, sometimes I entertain myself. I'm just going to be honest. But now I've lost the story. Robert made me laugh. It's Robert's fault. Immigration, who cares? Okay. Not that who cares about the immigration. It's just that's not the story that I want to get to for. The mainstream reporting is as dominant as ever, according to Axios. Now, they acknowledge that, that Trump has tried to put a damper down on the mainstream media. They also acknowledge alternative media in terms of podcasts and, MAGA media with, Fox News, Newsmax, or One America, or whatever the hell that's called. But evidently, and to his credit, look, Donald Trump, well, I don't know if it's to his credit, and I'll tell you why in a second, but they said Donald Trump gives the media, the mainstream media, more access than any president ever. Well, how objective is Axios? I like numbers says. Well, I don't think there's many objective things, but they're actually crediting Trump with giving mainstream media access. So I don't think their bias would make them say that. The question, I guess, is how, what is the reason he gives the mainstream media so much access? And I think it's because of his fragile little orange ego. I think that when they criticize him, he feels he has to respond. He has to be combative with them. And that's why he does it. That's what I think. That's the experience. That's the as the kids say, that's the vibe that I get from him. The vibe. Somebody told me yesterday I look about 35 years old. Is that true? Or was this person just shining me on and lying to me? That's a big question we need answers to right now. How old do you think I look? That's what I want to know. And don't lie to me. Tell me the fucking truth. That's what I want, the fucking truth. How fucking old do I look? All right. So, yeah. So Trump evidently is giving the media a lot of access, which, I mean, that's a good thing. 38. Thank you, Jenna. Thomas Pentlow says I look 60. Well, if I'm 60, sir, let me just remind you that when I was 12, you were already on the Wethersfield, Connecticut police force, and you were already chasing my friends and me around all over the place. So if I'm now 60, if I was 12 then, you must have been about 30, 18 years older than me. That would make you about 78. Ooh. Deeper with Diego, please don't say that I look delicious to you. That's not what's the word I'm looking for? Enduring you to me. Or is that it? Enduring, may, I don't know, endearing, whatever. His ego is not orange. James says I look 35. Someone else says 30, 35, 40-ish, 41. All right, I'm happy with this. I am happy with this. People might say, though, you know what it is? in prison, I didn't go outside a lot, so I didn't let the sun damage my skin. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Okay, so Trump is halting immigration. Words are hard today. What do you mean they're hard? No, Persephone came up with this word, ratchet. She said, I look ratchet today. I mean wretched? She said, no, ratchet. It's a word. No, there's Nurse Ratchet. But no, I don't think you can look ratchet. There's a ratchet wrench. I don't know why I did the hammer motion, but no, you can't look ratchet. Persephone's out of her gourd. She just makes things up as she goes along, and deeper with the ego. No, ratchet is a word race. I know it just doesn't mean what Persephone claims it means. Look, I'll go to the mattresses on this one. I'm telling you right now, I will fight this. People cannot look ratchet. No. The word went around the culture. You mean somebody made up this word and went around and touted it. Anyways, so Trump is halting immigration from 19 countries. All like the third world countries. He's also insulting Somali immigrants. This guy is such a dick. Look, I'm swearing. I don't know. I got to stop swearing. I blame Robert Naser for getting me swearing again. But this is not the way, right? Halting immigration is not the way. Immigrants are not causing the problems that people think they're causing. They're just not. They're not taking your jobs. They're not taking your houses from you. They're not bringing crime. They're not bringing rape. They're not doing any of these things. They're not the horrible people that Thomas Pentelow and Subby Scalora think they are. Thomas Pentelow and Subby Scalora, they're in the audience right now, and I think they're very anti-immigrant. No, I'm kidding. Don't hate them, because I love them both, and we don't want them to think that they're bad people or anything else, especially because one of them rents to me and the other one signs my paychecks. So we need to praise them very much. Maybe we also don't want to let Tom know about the how much you guys give me in super chats, because then maybe Tom doesn't pay me as much money. And on the flip side, maybe we don't want you to know how much Tom pays me, because maybe then you don't give me super chats. So let's just keep the money coming in. That'll be wonderful. Subby's an immigrant. So Subby, like, this is annoying to me. Subby was born in France. He came over here. He's to two Italian parents, Sicilian. So Subby comes over here when he's like a year old, right? And he says just now, I'm an immigrant. Okay, I'll give you that. You're an immigrant. They brought you here. But then he says, I'm French and Italian. Dude, you're not French. You're not French. You happen to be born in France. So what? If I was born in Jamaica and they brought me over here, am I Jamaican? Am I, man? Tell me, man. I must be Jamaican. Okay, terrible Jamaican accent. But no, Subby, no, that's not true. Ooh la la. Thomas Pentlow says I'm fired. Tom, I'm going to be heading over to Windsor after the show. And then I got 2:30. I got the other show coming up. So what else do we got going on here? Let's see here. This I found very, by the way, the fact that Persephone has not presented evidence for her claims of ratchet, and neither is anybody else, I'm going to take that as a big W. Okay, so at Stanford University, nearly 40% of undergraduates this year are registered as disabled. More than 20% at Harvard and Brown are as well. The increase is driven by more students receiving diagnoses for conditions such as ADHD, anxiety, and depression. And these are all conditions that give students extra time in exams. Does anyone else find that ridiculous? Look, I got anxiety, problems myself, OCD problems myself. I get stuck in a loop and it's over with, but does that mean I'm disabled and that I should be given extra time on a test at school? This seems crazy to me. Anybody else think this is ridiculous? I feel like I hate to be one of these guys. Like, I feel like an old guy talking about the wussification, but it seems like we've really been wussified. And by the way, I say that about people on all sides. This snowflake stuff, like, you have the Trump people always calling people snowflakes. Meanwhile, they get offended at everything, right? They get upset and they get offended and poor me, they're taking my jobs, and white people, poor us, and all that shit. That's just as bad to me as people feeling bad because they've got ADHD. Look, you got ADHD, man up, take some Adderall like the rest of us, and go take your test. That's how I feel about things. If you got depression, get on SSRIs if you need them. Take your test. You're not disabled. This is Codswallop. Cowboy up, says Nicole Hingle, and I agree 100%. Cowboy the F up. I'm not going to keep swearing just because Robert wants that. Holden Mitrione says, what up, Michael? Holden, hello, Brother Noomsy. My dear Brother Noomsy, you've yet to provide the video of the debate you had with Charlie Kirk. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the debate you had with Charlie Kirk. Oh, my goodness. Race is coming in, and he's making excuses for the ADHD folks. He says a feature of ADHD is executive dysfunction, which means it's more difficult to complete some mental tasks. Okay, then put some more time into preparing. That's what you got to do. We all have issues, right? And when you have issues, you have to learn to compensate for them. You need, like, if you've got a bad memory, leave reminders around for yourself. If you have a problem with executive functioning, dedicate more time to studying, do more of what you need to do. Handle your candle. I know you didn't throw me out. I thought you did. I checked and I saw it. I argued with these guys in their group chat yesterday. They're very wrong about so much. And, but they're kids, so you got to excuse them. Kids, the problem with kids is they're very cocksure of themselves, but they're also very wrong about so much. I remember I was a kid once. I remember arguing with people that it's, basically okay to rob people. So, that's what I did. So I suppose if I'm arguing with people that it's okay to rob people when I'm 19 and when they're in their teens, early 20s are arguing for anarchy, I guess they're better off than I was. What do you think? Chandler took Zoloft and it was great. He hasn't cried in years though. I cry. The Zoloft doesn't stop me from crying. When I cry though, I break. Like everything comes out at once when I cry and I just go sick. So that's what I do. But to be fair, I've suffered quite a bit in my life, but you can't spend your life feeling sorry for yourself. You got to, and you move on. The idea that you're treating now people with ADHD as if they're disabled, extra time on a test. Well, okay, I'm upset. I had a hard day at home. My cat ran away or so. I don't know. The dogs kept me up all night. Why can't I get extra time? Oh no, handle your candle. This guy, let me tell you, this guy is so sensitive. It's annoying. It's dude, I get it. We're in a new age and it's okay to cry, but it's okay to have some testosterone too, right? It's okay. Testosterone is a good thing. You have it. You're good. You man up. I'm very sad here. Where the viewership is not up. People, share this around, please. Share this episode around, especially on X. I want to see you sharing it because that's what we need here. I'm going to go back to YouTube and share it from YouTube. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I see Persephone. She shares it. Persephone, you are just the freaking best. You are the best. No, Race, it's not a 24/7 ordeal, but if I lose my cat today and I've got to go take a test, it certainly impacts my mental well-being during that test. I'm sorry. ADHD is just not an excuse. It's just not. It's not an excuse. Neither is OCD. Neither is bipolar. We have volition. There's things we can do to counteract these things. The world does. Well, I guess some people do, but in reality, people don't give a fuck about ADHD. And to be honest, they really shouldn't. Like if I'm going to the store or I'm going to buy something or I want a product, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear when my cup breaks or my computer's not working that the designer had bipolar disorder and was a little off that day. I don't give a shit. I want my computer to work. I want my car to run. I don't want my mechanic when I go to get my car fixed to tell me, listen, we're going to be a few hours over on the time because we got one guy with ADHD and another guy with OCD and they're working on it and they need extra time to fix the car. No, I got to get where the hell I got to go. I've got my problems. Don't make your problems my problems. That's how I feel. I do my best to not make my problems other people's problems. Right. So, I mean, sometimes you can't help it, but if you're that disabled, well, then maybe just, I don't know, get on charity or something, but you got to go to work and you got to perform, and you cannot use your mental problems as an excuse. Ian Gilmore says it depends what you're trying to test. They may have been getting more time for years. I don't like it. Now, if it's I guess if it's a private school and they want to, I used to watch this show. I don't know who else watched it. The hell's the name of it? Last Man Standing with Tim Allen. And Tim Allen's Subby, we don't need your suggestions right now. This guy's been trying to come on the show, and now you're going to bat for him. I don't need that. Holden, where do you want me to come on? You got a show? I'll come on whenever you want. There's no problem with that. Just bring me on. You want to normalize? I don't know what Ian's talking about right now. Ian is normally good, but if Ian thinks that you should be catering to people because of their so-called mental illnesses, Ian, you're wrong, and that's okay. You can be wrong. Everybody can, except me, because I'm always right, as you know if you watch the show on a regular basis. As anybody should know who's witnessed that Persephone, for instance, has not come up with this definition of ratchet that she promised. All right, I reposted the show. Race says I'm talking out of my ass. Race, I was diagnosed as socially emotionally adjusted when I was 5. I've been seeing therapists shortly after that, almost my entire life. I have a degree, associate's degree in psychology. I've read more psychology than I care to even remember. I've been around nutty people. I went to schools for troubled kids where everybody's on medication. So, I do know what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that these things, I'm not saying that these things, are not real. I'm not saying they're not real encumbrances. What I'm saying is everybody has problems in life. Everybody. And your problems cannot become my problem. I don't want them to be my problem. For instance, if you're blind, it's unfortunate. I don't want you driving a car. That's simple. And if you're incapable of doing a task because of some mental disorder, I don't want you doing tasks that are going to affect me. Ratchet is a slang term that means low class or out of control. Okay, so you were using ratchet first of all, it's slang, so it's not actually a word. It's slang. Persephone, you're yelling and screaming. No one cares. And no one can hear you. But it's not what you said it meant. You were talking about appearance, not what this here says, and it's slang. It's not a real word. So I win. Ian Gilmore says reasonable accommodations, not any. Okay, if you're going to give a guy 30 extra minutes, say, on a test, right? Okay, then would you give them 30 extra minutes to fix my car? Because I don't want them to have 30 extra minutes to fix my car. They take long enough as it is. I want my car fixed. And I want my hamburger when I go to McDonald's. And okay, this is Robert Naser. Robert Naser is talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Robert Naser, just so it's okay to have problems. It's even okay to ask for help. What's not okay is for me to make my problems your problems. 102% true. And Robert is correct. Ian, it's actually is a relevant comparison, because what I'm saying is in life, the fact that you have a psychological problem does not mean that people in this world need to cater to you. That's my entire point. And it's like, what are you setting people up for, and what are you teaching them? If you're telling them, yes, the world is going to cater to you because you have ADHD, which, by the way, it's not like you go and get a blood test and they say, oh, you have ADHD. That's not the way it works. I've been to a slew of psychiatrists who have given me different diagnoses. Right? I mean, not, maybe I'm a little nuts. That's fine. I can live with that. But I've been diagnosed with PTSD and then told by another psychiatrist, no freaking way I have PTSD. So, that's the YOLO. You only live once. That's dumb too. YOLO. No, I thought I lived twice. Fucking stupid. God, I tell you something about me I always hate is trendy stuff. I hate trendy stuff. And I hate when people catch on and start repeating trendy stuff. Like, for instance, one of the things people will say to criticize me on TikTok, oh, podcast equipment is way too expensive. And I'm just like, oh, very original. It's like, come on, over and over again. Or when someone says, tell me you're, whatever, without telling me or whatever. How about be original? Be original. Don't steal someone else's stuff. Bruh, be original. No, not a Buddhist. Now I forgot what I was talking about. What the hell was I talking about? Persephone, do you remember? Oh, the fact that these mental health diagnoses are in no sense objective. There's no clear-cut test for any of them. And so, I just don't think that we ought to be pandering or catering or anything like that to them. That's it. And that goes for me too, by the way. There's things that I can't do because of my obsessing. For instance, do not put me on a submarine because I'm going to freak out. I'm going to get panic attacks. See, I like numbers. See, that's an original, ironic take. I like that. What he says. He says, tell me you're unoriginal without telling me you're unoriginal. How about this? Tell me you want to give me super chats while giving me super chats. I like that better. And speak of the fucking devil, we have a super fucking sticker from Nicole Hingle. Nicole, you are the best. You're also very pretty. Persephone, don't get jealous. You're gorgeous too. I know the ladies, they all, when it comes to me, everybody gets jealous. I understand why, given that you all said I look 35. Let's see what else we got. But 30, you could be ugly and be 35 though, can't you? Like, so it's just saying I'm 35. I don't know. Maybe that's not even a compliment. I've known like ugly 30-year-olds. I've known ugly 20-year-olds. What about ugly babies? What if you had an ugly baby? You ever see the episode of Seinfeld where they went to go see the baby and the baby was ugly and they said, no one's ever going to tell the parents they have ugly babies. That's true. If they asked me, I'd tell them. Like, I'm not going to lie to these people. If you want someone to lie to you, don't ask me. You got an ugly kid and you say to me, hey, isn't my kid cute? Nah. Maybe he'll be smart. Let's hope. But then when he gets to be in his teens, if he's also an idiot, don't say, hey, remember when you asked me, you told me my kid was ugly, but you said, hopefully he's smart. Do you think he's smart? If he's a moron, I'm going to say, no, he's kind of dumb. He's kind of dumb. Maybe get him checked. Maybe he has ADHD. You can get him diagnosed and they'll give him extra time on his exams. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. All right. Let's see here. It can often be a sign of a condition. No, it's not a must-lie situation. No, don't expect me to sacrifice my integrity for you. If you want to ask me the question, right? Don't ask if you don't want the truth. Just don't do it. I'm not sacrificing my integrity so that you can feel better about your ugly kid. I'm just not doing that. Oh, yes, it's a line from Seinfeld. Yeah. The kid was normal in Seinfeld. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Michael Liebowitz. You don't know what the hell when I say that. It's because I store the articles in my own private text space. This morning, I was doing some research on Israel, and I needed someplace to store the stuff I was getting. So I didn't want to post it to my, my messenger, because I've already got stuff stored there. And I didn't want to post it to my text messages because I've already got stuff stored there. So I just sent it all to my friend Carlos, but I didn't tell him I was going to do this. So he's getting all these lengthy things from Grok about the history of Israel and about comparisons and statistics. And he doesn't send me a message that says, hey, buddy, what the hell are you sending me this stuff for? No, he sends me a thing. It says, thank you, buddy. I said, thank you, buddy. What are you talking about? What about your notes app? I deleted that because I was upset. about it. I never used it, and it was taking up space, and I keep getting notifications that I don't have enough space. So I just said, get rid of this. And I'd never used it. I don't know how to use it. The health app. Somebody, when I got out of prison, gave me a phone with all these apps on it. I don't know what any of them are. So I just get rid of them. Okay. Labubus. Who knows about these Labubus? Anybody? You're looking at me like I'm crazy, Persephone, but I'm not. There's an excellent article today in the Daily Economy about these Labubus. It says, are Labubus boo-boos Gen Z Beanie Babies? And what it's about ultimately is how they actually tied the Labubu craze to the Austrian theory of the trade cycle, which I thought was freaking genius. So what they talked about how was cheap credit in government controlled interest rates, printing money leads to booms. It leads people to invest in things that appear to be profitable that really aren't. It drove the price of these Beanie Babies way up, and then that ultimately crashed because they weren't really profitable. And now the same thing is happening evidently with these Labubus. And I happen to know for a fact that the price of the Labubus has now gone down. It says here, the same monetary distortions that propelled Pokemon card prices and crypto valuations upward have pushed speculative enthusiasm into ever more marginal corners of consumer cultures, including Labubus. And it says if the broader asset bubble deflates, the policy response is predictable. And that's, of course, they're going to start, printing money again. But nobody is safe from the Federal Reserve, from monetary easement, money manipulation, artificially low interest rates. They sparked the Labubu boom, and now the Labubus are falling out. So for anybody that thinks that economics is boring, I highly recommend this article. I'm going to share it right now, matter of fact, 2x, and everybody can read it. Very, very interesting. It talks about how during COVID, that also the policies there started a craze for other things, and now those things have crashed. Fascinating stuff. Post. All right. The Beanie Baby article, not the Beanie. Yeah, the Labubus and Labubus and Beanie Babies. Persephone, you don't laugh at me. I need your support. Don't you know I'm mentally ill? I need support. I need to be forgiven for this and given extra time maybe on the show because, look, OCD, generalized anxiety disorder, anxious ambivalent attachment style, once diagnosed with PTSD, socially emotionally maladjusted at 5, conduct disorder at 17. I got it all. You want to start talking about parents both diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So I've been told that because being raised by people with bipolar disorder, I could exhibit characteristics of bipolar disorder. Never mind these substance use disorders I had. Oh my God. Social Security? Can I get something? At least give me some sympathy. Maybe a super fucking chat to compensate me for my mental problems. I know Jim is shameless, but he's been so good to me. I really can't complain. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, Switzerland. Switzerland just overwhelmingly rejected a wealth tax. Evidently, they are aware of what occurs when you tax wealth. The wealthy people leave. And Switzerland said, hell no, we're not going for that. There's other countries that have done this and they've suffered an exodus. Let me see if I can find it here. National wealth tax on inheritances. There's a great quote here. I love this. Inequality in opulence is better than equality in poverty. Let that sink in. Inequality in opulence is better than equality in poverty. Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I care about how I'm doing. I'm not worried about comparing myself with everybody else, right? Let's see. If I want to see where they've got this. A record number of super rich Norwegians are abandoning Norway. Both France and Sweden experience similar outflows of people and money to escape wealth taxes. The revenue that ends up being raised is rather paltry. And ultimately, it ends up hurting the sacred middle class and poor, these taxes. Who'd have thunk it? Right? But evidently California, that's what the article's about. Evidently California is now considering this wealth tax. So Mark better run because they're coming for Mark's wealth. That's for sure. But just dumb, and dumber. It's largely, this article talks about driven by envy. Oh, the rich, look at this guy. He has so much. I have nothing. So what if he spent all his time working on, building a business and sacrificed his time, effort, and energy, and I wanted to spend my time playing Pokemon online? It's not fair because I have ADHD and I needed something to focus on, so I picked Pokemon, and now this guy's rich and I want his money. No. I said good day. You cannot have his money. California sucks, and they're dumb if they implement this, dumber than what they already are. And they're not very good as it is. They're right up there with these other jabronis that just elected the socialist in New York. God, I need some water. Good on Switzerland from Deeper with Diego. Akira Felix is complaining that he doesn't get notifications for this show. Do you really need notifications? I mean, it's not like we switch it up on you. It's on at the same time every day, right? I mean, sometimes we go off a little early, but I mean, we're always on at the same time unless we make the announcement ahead of time, but that's not the situation you're talking about, is it now? Go to California and get a wealth tax. Oh, this guy. What about this? Oh, wait, no. I'm going to talk about the DHS lies. So, Cato did last week, they did a story, and they showed that 73% of individuals booked into immigration and customs enforcement detention facilities had no criminal convictions of any kind, and only 5% had violent criminal convictions. And evidently, the DHS called the report's main chart made up with no legitimate data behind it. Yet Cato provided the raw data in the report from the DHS. So aside from doing stupid shit like arresting people who aren't criminals, they also are lying. Okay, Race, I'll settle down with the ADHD stuff. Poor Race. Race, you're great. You're wonderful. It's not a personal attack. I just think that in this society, we make far too many excuses for people and for bad behavior, for the inability to accomplish things. I think personally, this is the thing. I personally think that somebody with ADHD, if they put forth the effort, can still achieve great things. I don't think that they need the government or schools or anybody else to step in and babysit them or give them a hand up. I believe that they can accomplish things. So while it might sound like I'm biased toward those with ADHD, like plenty of my friends, and I don't want to stick people out there and start naming names and then they all get mad at me. But I'm not like biased against them. I just believe in human ingenuity and the ability of human beings to accomplish things despite whatever obstacles that they may be facing. But anyways, the DHS claimed that it was inaccurate and that 70% of illegal aliens arrested have active criminal charges or criminal convictions. So you notice how they switched it. Cato reported on convictions, but now the DHS switched it to charges. They also inflate the number of criminal arrests by including people with pending criminal charges. That's what they said. Nonetheless, DHS claim conflicts with the data in their report, which finds that nearly half, 47% of ICE bookings had not even been charged with a crime. So the initial claims that they're only going after the criminals, especially the violent criminals, is all bullshit. When called on it by Cato, they lie and say Cato's lying. Cato now calls them out and they bring receipts. Good on Cato. Screw the Department of Homeland Security. I remember, and this is in good on Rush Limbaugh, because I remember after 9/11 when they started to create this department and Rush said, be careful now. This is more government. and he was right. And now they do things that they had nothing to do with before, drug trafficking, that sort of thing that they engage in. I'm not a fan. We could probably get rid of them and we'd be fine. I don't know. That's just me. Race made me feel bad now. Race is my, what is he? What is he again? The thumbnail guy. And he's great with the thumbnails. He's great with the comments. He's great all around. That's my take on Race. Okay. This guy here, the Race, you do great with the thumbnails. And normal state, the best you can do is the best you can do. That's all anybody can do. Right. So there's no need to feel bad about it. I'm sure there's things that you do much better than what Persephone can do. And I'm sure Persephone can do some things much better than you could do. The point is to find the things that we're good at and do those. But sometimes we have to work a little harder than other people to do a good job. That's just the way life goes. Oh, who's heard of this guy, the Misfit Patriot? I follow this guy on X, and he's been pissing me off the last couple of days. He's really in support of these bombing of the alleged drug traffickers coming from Venezuela. And one of the things he says is, my brother died of a fentanyl overdose. Dude, okay, your brother died of an overdose. My parents were drug addicts. I get it. That does not give you the right to kill people who are selling drugs. It doesn't give you the right to stop people who want drugs from getting them. And by the way, your brother probably ended up with fentanyl because of drug prohibition to begin with, and not knowing what's in the product that he's using, and not knowing the dosage. So you're actually supporting the types of policies that lead to that. But anyways, he says the latest talking point is there's no fentanyl coming from Venezuela. And he thinks that this is just semantics. His claim is, no, it doesn't originate in Venezuela, but it comes to us via Venezuela. The problem is, no, it doesn't. Venezuela is primarily cocaine. And, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of people that want cocaine. Well, of course there is. People like cocaine. But nevertheless, Persephone seems to be over there like, yeah, I'm one of them. Persephone, stay away from the cocaine. You don't need it. Oh, maybe she likes it. I don't know. If you like cocaine and you can handle it, do it. It's what the hell is it? Not my business. But what the hell was I talking about now? Oh, yeah. The fentanyl is not coming from Venezuela. It's just not. It's a lie. But even if it were, who cares? It's not your business. It's not your business if people want to do drugs. Stop being busybodies. Stop being the goddamn moral police. Go do your own job. Earn your own stuff. If you don't like drug addicts, stay away from them. You don't want to do fentanyl? Don't do it. That's it. It's that simple. You don't have to bomb boats. You don't have to make laws. You don't have to put people in prison for this type of stuff. Mexico and China are the primary countries for fentanyl and fentanyl-related substances, apparently. Yes. Who prays for Satan? The one and only Persephone. Somebody loves me despite my mental health problems, and it is high PY5RH. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but he's given 5. Is that the symbol for euros? My friend told me yesterday that's the euro symbol, and I thought it was German because it was Katrin that gave it. But okay, thank you so much. You don't have to be sorry for my mental health problems. I've had them my whole life. I've learned to deal with them. I've gone over and above to compensate for the problems that I have with my mental health, including reading an abundance of books, journaling, doing exercises, everything I can. And that's what it has to be. Other people have to deal with different problems. That's one of mine. But nonetheless, thank you for the €5. I really appreciate it. Yes, euro. Okay. Ray says yes, euro. That's good. All right, let's see. Do I have another story? Are there other stories we need to talk about, Persephone? The crowd, they're not really giving me a lot today. I noticed that. By the way, today at 2:30 for my show, Everyday Ethics, please bring some stuff. Bring some questions. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear your ethical dilemmas. I want it to be an interactive show. We got to talk. Persephone, you better be there. I know it's late for you, but I don't care. I want you there anyway. All right, let's see what else we got. Labubus, Switzerland. Oh, from John Miltimore. This is an article from John Miltimore. courtesy of Cafe Hayek. And John Miltimore, who I've interviewed on numerous occasions, great guy, says economists don't always agree. But one thing virtually all economists agree on is that rent control doesn't make people better off. They did a study of 45 economists, and I think only one of them actually said that rent control was a good idea. Rent control is not a good idea. Government intervention in the economy is not a good idea. And that's all there is to it. We go over this over and over and over and over again, but it involves an initiation of force against landlords because you're telling them they can't raise prices. It's also a violation of rights of the people who want to rent because they can't find apartments at prices they're willing to pay. It just creates shortages because people don't build new apartments to rent because why are they going to do it if they can't make money off of it? It just ends up screwing people. But the government is dumb and the people that vote for them are largely dumb too, and they want free shit. So that's what they do. That's what they go after. Persephone, what are you doing this research on Israel this morning? I'm curious, maybe we can have a Saturday show where Mark and I just get into the history of Israel. What do you think, Persephone? Is that a good idea? Persephone is giving me the thumbs up on that one. Thank you, Persephone. Persephone is looking as lovely as ever today, by the way, just so everybody knows. It's important for me that we have a beautiful producer on the show. I think it's a great thing. No, not that one. The Justice Department is weighing whether to seek new indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James after a federal judge threw out both cases last week. Comey and James are among the political adversaries President Trump had urged Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute. I don't think that these people have done anything worthy of prosecution in this case anyway. I mean, maybe they did in other things. I don't know, but not in what they're being charged with here, certainly. So what else can we talk about? I've now gone through every story I've got. So I'm going to need some help here. What can we talk about? What do you want to discuss? Bring it on. Attack the host if you want. Criticize me. You can criticize my crooked mustache. Whatever you want is fine. I don't mind that. Did I see the post Nicole tagged you in about Mamdani and Starbucks strike? No, I did not. Now I'm bringing you on. Hi, Persephone.
Good morning. Hi.
It's 12:47 here. Good morning. You have to put on your headphones. What are you talking about? So talk about this story, Persephone. Isn't she beautiful, by the way? Everybody in the audience, tell Persephone how lovely she is.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's this story you're yammering on about? You don't look ratchet.
Thank you. Nicole tagged you in something. Hold on.
Oh my God. Don't be like Mark. I already feel like I got Mark now. You tell me that I see the story. I ask you what's the story, and you say Nicole tagged you in something. That doesn't help.
Nicole tagged you in a tweet from Mamdani that he said he's so happy that he's on the right side of the strike because the Starbucks CEO earned 98 something million, and he's so happy that he's on the right side of the strike. And the picture is of like Beanie with a sign. I feel like I'm not doing this justice. And then Nicole said, yes, shame on him. By all means, condemn the Starbucks CEO. How dare he get wealthy by creating jobs, paying people, and offering a product people voluntarily line up to buy every morning. Shame.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask this question after. Remind me to ask the question that I was just inspired to ask. I'm gonna ask it afterwards. I don't know much about the story. So give us your take on it.
On the people striking, that's stupid. If you didn't have people creating jobs, creating businesses, then we wouldn't live in a utopia where everybody was happy. We'd live in where I live, where everything's kind of shitty. I think that there's this idea that if you didn't have the CEOs that earn all of this big money, that everybody would just earn like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and everybody would have like all these luxuries. People want the luxury, but they don't want the people who create the luxury.
So Mark made a post this morning. Somebody was complaining about eight billionaires and how much money they have. And Mark said, okay, but why aren't you commenting on how much they produce? And it's a similar thing. The people complain about Starbucks, or they want to, they go on strike for Starbucks, but Starbucks provides jobs to people. They provide me with the coffee that I want to drink. Now, here's the thing. Ultimately, I am not opposed to unions if we had a free market, right? What I'm opposed to is the government putting its big, stupid foot on the scale in favor of the unions. That bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Is objectivism transactional? Elaborate just a little bit on that for me, Robert, because I think I might say yes, but I just want to make sure that when I say yes to the question, I'm not saying yes when you mean something else. But yeah, so if ultimately, if it's a free market and the people that work for a place, they say that they're not doing well enough to they're not being paid well enough to the job and they want to go on strike, go ahead. But then if they get fired, that's also on the, that's part of the free market as well. Right now, they can't be fired. And that screws the whole dynamic up. I don't think Mike says she is beautiful with the intention of hitting on her. Just an appreciative comment. And yes, I'm a girl and I think she's beautiful. Okay. This is like ridiculous. If somebody actually thinks I'm hitting on Persephone, who is in South Africa, then I mean, it's come on, like, let's just we got to be smarter than this. I have a girlfriend that watches the show. I love my girlfriend. Persephone's married. I tell her she's pretty because I like to have fun. I like to tell women they're pretty. I'm not trying to date her. That would be a very strange thing of me to be doing because I don't have the money to go to South Africa and I don't think they would let me there anyways. That's just for starting. Ray says we're razzing Mike. It's not serious. Well, maybe you're razzing, but maybe somebody else isn't. I don't know. I'm just going through the thing. I want to get to Robert's question, but Robert's not posting what he meant by transactional, so I can't answer. And we're running out of time so rapidly. Like I don't know. That doesn't make any sense what I was going to say, so I'm just not going to say it.
I don't even know what to say today.
You do know what to say. Let me see. I think this, Robert. I think that in friendships, if this is what you're talking about, and I think it is, then I think that all relationships should be value for value. And if that makes it transactional, I'm fine with that. I give you value, you give me value, and we can be friends, as opposed to where one person is always giving and the other one's always taking. Now, if what you mean by transactional is like keeping score kind of thing, like where I have friends and we go out to dinner every so often, and then I'm like, well, I drove 7 times and you drove 5 times, so you owe me, then I would say, no, it's not transactional in that regard. I think that when we have real friendships, it's like there's a bank account that we all draw from, that both parties to the relationship put money in the bank, both parties take out of the bank, and it's just always there, so we don't have to continue to keep score. That's my thoughts on whether objectivism is transactional. Robert is driving, but the question will actually fit everyday ethics better. All right, bring it to everyday ethics, and if you give me a better question, better formulation, I'll give you a better answer. I'm all freaking for it. Robert can't evidently type out the questions, but he can post little trucks, some sort there. I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. I don't know.
You can't post emojis.
Some maybe I'm just not finding the right. By the way, what is Griffy? What is that? Or GFI? The things that people post. It says Griff underneath it. GRIFA. GI. What does that mean?
It's a platform where people host. It is a GIF hosting platform.
What the hell is a GIF?
It is a moving picture. So when people post like the little short. No, it's not a video, but it's like
You can post me dancing.
Now I'm going to just create a GIF of you dancing, and I'm going to use it as a reaction on everything.
Oh my God! Hold on. Now you got
10,
it.
10 out of 10.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Stop hitting on me. You can't hit on me. Okay. Well, look, we've got 5 minutes left, but we've got to get to the capitalist thought of the day. We've got to
Ask
what's what I'm
question.
looking for. Get to the question. We are going to promote some stuff. So first things first, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Share it from YouTube if you can to your favorite social media things, because that helps us. Go to YouTube and comment. By the way, I hate to pick on the audience, but a lot of you have been very derelict in your commenting on the YouTube channel. Please do so. It takes just a minute. It really helps a lot. We're trying to promote the show. We're up to 619 subscribers, which I think is wonderful. Remember also that our super fucking chats are open on this show. They're also open on the Everyday Ethics, but they're just super chats. Only for this show are they super fucking chats. So my capitalist thought of the day is do not interact with bears when they come into your house. No, that's actually not. My capitalist thought of the day is this. In life, everybody has some type of shortcomings. Everybody faces obstacles, handicaps, whatever you may call them, disabilities. The thing is we need to overcome them. And as long as we are above average or above average intelligence, and even slightly below average intelligence, if we are willing to put forth the requisite effort, we can accomplish very, very much. Whether a psychiatrist tells us we have ADHD, bipolar, or any other of these mental illnesses with which they wish to designate us, we still can accomplish things. We can accomplish our goals. The thing to do is to find our niche in life, fit in there well, do our absolute best, and all of us can do that. Thank you, everybody. My question is this. Is it disrespectful to compliment married women on their appearance? And I want it to be clear that when it's done wide open, there's no secrecy involved or anything like that. Do you think it is disrespectful to tell married women that they are pretty, or on the flip side, married men that they are handsome chaps? So just to recap, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much, Robert, for yet another. I think this is called the super fucking sticker, right, Persephone?
I think that's just a chat.
Okay, whatever it is, it's super fucking chat. We appreciate it, Robert. I appreciate the whole audience for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, we are in no way affiliated with the American Capitalist Party. Remember today, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, to check out my show, Everyday Ethics. I think you will like it. And remember to join us tomorrow. Mark Pellegrino is actually going to grace us with his presence on tomorrow's show. At least he said he is. So tune in tomorrow for Mark, for me, for Persephone. Remember, between now and tomorrow, or between now and my next show, always check your premises. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Have a fantastic day.